All of our podcast is brought back to you by R&B. So anything you may have missed, you can always go back. Compliments of R&B. They can custom make you a home. They can handle your handiwork. They can build you a new set.
Apparently,
you got a podcast.
I'm
not
They can help you with that as well. Anything you may need, R&B Builders has got you taken care of. rmb-builders.com. I'm going to throw my underwear on the field when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are introduced.
You're going to have to wear something first.
On Saturday. I think I'm going to wear the thong. I think I'm going to go thong on Saturday and just, yeah, that's right, slingshot at the old Joey with a note of coming back to the UDL. Can you imagine, Shea, it's good to see you. Great attire, buddy. Can you imagine what the scene is going to be like if Joey is in the building with Jamar?
Is that true?
It's not confirmed yet, but I can't imagine that is not happening.
Okay.
We just talked about
it.
We're putting it out there. I mean, we're putting it out into the universe.
All right, I'll put it out that I don't think he'll be there.
No, Shea.
What? I mean, y'all
party pooping.
I'm not going to get on board with that. He doesn't show, and then everybody. Shea said it.
Shea said they were on the way.
We were trying to get the ball rolling to where he hears it, and he's like, "Well, they're expecting me to be there."
Well, Megan's coming in evidently just for this.
I would too. Just a chance.
I'm asking somebody right now.
He's like, I'm going to put an end to this. Didn't we put a poll up about it?
We did. Everybody thinks he's coming.
The shirt.
Yeah. Shea said he's not coming. Can you confirm?
Shea was.
Jimmy.
Tell me who is. It's got to be a huge recruiting weekend, right? I mean, you got to take advantage of a Saturday night, huh?
What was the trivia time? More opinion time. What was the last true Death Valley night at LSU?
Florida?
That's what I think the answer is.
2019?
Yeah. It has to be 2019, obviously. Joe Burrow's senior night that was a great night.
Yeah.
But they won 50-7 or whatever.
The game was Florida.
Auburn would have been since then, but that was a 2:30 game, but it did come down to the end. So it'd have to be Florida when a 24 Stingley as a freshman picked off Kyle Trask.
And a Burrow hit Chase down the sideline.
With about 5 minutes left, and that was it. Then they had a goal line stand.
That's right.
It was rocking that night.
They got chomped out the stadium.
That was Marcel Brooks. That was the dance.
They got chomped out the stadium. I forgot about that. Are you about to do the dance?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're doing it at TCU now. He's catching 2 balls for 15 yards.
Lloyd can't cut to himself and do the dance, unfortunately. So,
test me, son.
But yeah, so that was, I think I looked it up yesterday, that was like 730 days ago.
Wow.
So imagine for a lot of these kids, not just seniors, but guys who are juniors who now are recruitable, they have offers. They were in 9th and 10th grade, when that was happening.
Golly.
And, you can go to a game growing up and all that, but until you're being recruited and Coach O's invited you to the game and you've got an offer and you're hanging out on the sidelines, it's a completely different experience. There it is. It's a completely different experience, and I think for a lot of these kids, it'll be a first. This will be their first chance, even a lot of the commits, to see Tiger Stadium at night when it's rocking. And I think that you hear it from former players all the time. They admit, man, I was feeling all kind of schools until I had that one experience, that one night game, and it sort of hooked me in. I think that's what I know. Coach O and them are banging the phone lines this week saying, guys,
got to get here.
The fans will deliver. Y'all come and see it, because that's one thing they haven't been able to sell in 2 years is a packed stadium.
Harold Perkins coming in.
He is.
5-star linebacker. They have a chance. I mean, they sit in a good spot.
Well, remember, too, that his family is New Orleans natives, and Katrina, they all ended up in Texas and Houston and have settled in there. But his uncle Alvin, who's been like a recruiting fan favorite for LSU fans, because he'll go with them on all these visits, but like he'll be at A&M and just rocking like a Burrow 9 jersey or whatever. But he's from New Orleans, so he'll go over there and spend time with him a lot. But he gave some quotes yesterday to us that Harold, 5-star linebacker, was down to said, hey, this weekend I want to go to either A&M or LSU. And it sounded like Alvin almost put his foot down and said, look,
I'm not going to A&M anymore.
Yeah, right. You've been saying you want to experience Tiger Stadium like it's supposed to be. Well, this is the chance. And I know Harold was going to wait until Friday, play his game and all that, and then decide on Saturday where he was going. But then yesterday, which was Wednesday, he was like, all right, I'm decided. I'm definitely going to LSU this weekend. So that's a big one. I mean, we've talked about how bad they need linebackers, how bad they need them in this class, be elite ones. They haven't signed a 5-star linebacker in a while and sometime. I mean, Devin White and Patrick Queen, all these guys grew into great linebackers, but they weren't even 5-stars out of high school. Harold Perkins is the real deal. So he's certainly the biggest out-of-state visitor so far, but there's going to be a lot of them.
We
It's gonna be a good list.
We talked to Walker Howard yesterday morning.
What did he say? I meant to go listen to it.
He's
coming?
He's going to be there on Saturday night for sure. He's going to room with Will Campbell after the news of Campbell enrolling early popped over the weekend. How big is that of getting Campbell here down in spring?
I mean, massive. That's a 5-6 month head start.
Yeah.
And if you have any hopes of Will Campbell playing right away, you want him to be there as much as he can. So if he can get here by January and go through, all of the offseason with Moffitt and them, go through all of spring ball, then by the time the rest of the kids' signees get here in the summer, he's got a nice head start on him. So the Will Campbell, as many guys as you can get to enroll early is big, even more so when they're quarterbacks, when they're offensive linemen, when they're positions that are going to take some time to get adjusted to.
Jamar Chase just named the Offensive Rookie of the Month in the NFL, as that was just put out by, I believe Pepsi put that out, but the NFL just announced it, that Jamar Chase is named NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Month for the month of September, so his first 4 games in the league. Pretty good start for Jam.
Thought he was dropping everything.
Not a bad start, huh? And that was great, that first week's touchdown that looked just like the Natty game touchdown.
It did.
That
video edit that LSU did was pretty special.
That was cool. Matt Turnquist, that was a very cool video. I almost feel like there's going to come a point where T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and them look around and are like, oh, I see what's going on here.
I got it.
I was the
Dad
man
boss.
last year.
Yeah, right.
Don't like each other.
So where are they in recruiting right now? What's the buzz around LSU right now? How's the feeling around this program? Because, I mean, we know the talent around the state this year. What's the buzz around the program?
I mean, I'd say positive, but I mean, they're blocking out the noise. They're trying to stay positive about everything. I think in a way, even from talking to different, you hear the players, you talk to different coaches. I think last year and the start of this year humbled them a bit, almost to the point of, let's not say we're out here and we're not the best team in the country, that we should be winning every game. I think Orgeron said it well yesterday, and I think this is sort of the focus of the team, is that the goal right now is next week, Saturday, this week.
Yeah.
And if we can just keep chipping away a little bit, the schedules, and I'll add this part, he didn't say it, but the schedule sets yourself up nice for that. You get Auburn, that's a beatable team at night in Tiger Stadium. You go on the road to Lexington, that's a very tough place historically for LSU to win, but it's a winnable game. I mean, you know that if you keep chipping away, you get to that when you get through it. It's no different than what we said after the UCLA game, Jordy. It's, okay, they lost. If you can just get through these next few weeks, get on the road, beat State, doesn't matter how, just get out of there with a win and come back to Auburn, be 3-1, 4-1, whatever it is, 3-1, and go into that game with a chance. You've got a chance to steady things. Well, that's where we're at now. So they win this weekend. Then it turns into, how can you beat Kentucky? How can you get back here versus Florida and all of a sudden be 6-1 and really at a chance where you and a team like Florida are going to kind of be taking one direction and the other one going in the other direction. That's what's going to happen this weekend. 2 3-1 teams. Auburn hadn't even played an SEC game yet. They lose. They're 3-2, 0-1 in the SEC, and barely beat Georgia State or whatever it was. Lost at Penn State, and then LSU. If you lose, it's back to 3-2. Right when we thought we had some momentum, right when we had a great crowd atmosphere, we go out and lose. So I think this is a big weekend for which team's ascending and which team's going in the wrong direction here in the West.
Jamon Tapp is a big defensive end right here out of the local area. Goes to Ascension Catholic. Everybody's talking about Quincy, and he's a must-get. But up there, they're both must-gets, right?
Oh, yeah.
Quincy Wiggins and Jamon Tapp. Tapp is committed to Texas.
He is.
But expected to be there on Saturday. Where do they stand with him?
I think they're in an okay spot, good spot. Continue to chip away there. I mean, look, when you're a kid from Donaldsonville and you commit to Texas 7 months until signing day, you know that LSU's they're not going to bat an eye. They're just going to keep slowly working him. And I think Andre Carter's done well there. They've got a number of guys on staff who have put in a lot of time with Tapp, his family, his grandma. So I think they'll be in a good spot. I think that the 2 times or whatever they could have kids in for home games this year, he's been at both of them. So He's showing you the interest. He's being around. This was a kid that during that 2019 season, he was one of the very first kids in this class to get an offer as a local guy. But I remember his Twitter profile forever was him and Mike Thomas because he ran into him on the sidelines of the LSU game. I can't remember what game that was, but Mike Thomas was there. A bunch of Saints guys were there. So he's been around Tiger Stadium atmosphere enough. He knows what.
Was that the Alabama? I think that was an Alabama
Maybe
game.
it was Bama.
Yeah.
He knows what the program's got to offer. I still feel like that's one that ultimately comes back around to LSU as long as things stay stable, you know. And again, if they end up losing and then you get into some discussion down the road about coaching, whatever it might be, all bets are off, obviously. So if they continue to play well, I think they're going to get a guy like Jamar Chase.
Brandon Dixon wants to know inside of the bunker. Hashtag Ask Shea. Is LSU all in on Ricky Collins?
See, I thought he was going to come with some family talk right there.
I saw you tense up.
Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
And I don't even know him.
What's going on with Aunt?
Ida May.
Yeah, right.
Head in the car.
Ricky Collins, obviously the quarterback at Woodlawn. He plays for Marcus Randall, old LSU quarterback.
That's right.
So they offered him this summer at camp. I was there that day, and he had played well last season, put up really good numbers, but I think they played like 5 games or whatever during the COVID season. So they wanted to eval him over the summer. And watched him at LSU camp. Then they watched him at the LSU 7-on-7. He threw great that day. And they sort of just like, boom, offered on the spot. I mean, Pete's and George Munoz and Coach O, all those guys said, hey, look, let's pull the trigger right now. Good-sized kid's got a good arm. You know, he's going to be developed under a guy like Marcus Randall, who's your head coach that played quarterback, you know, at the highest level, played in the SEC. He's got a teammate named Jordan Matthews who's got an LSU offer who they're really in on. It's tough to say that they're like all in on him right now because he's a 2023 quarterback and they're still doing a lot of evals nationally. But I think the writing's also on the wall with Arch Manning in a way that, you know, he's taking all these visits this fall. None of them are to Baton Rouge. And then the other big quarterback in the state is Eli Holstein, who's already committed to A&M. So I think Ricky Collins has put himself into a good spot to potentially be the quarterback in that class. But I also still think they'll recruit some national guys and sort of get a feel. Watch all those guys as, what are they right now, juniors in high school. Watch all their junior film and go from there.
Holstein versus Collins Friday night. Zachary hosting Woodlawn.
Is that this week?
Yeah, Woodlawn schedule. I mean, they played everybody. They got Zachary this Friday night. Hashtag Ask Shea. Andrew Messina wants to know, where does LSU stand with Denver Harris, cornerback out of North Shore?
Yeah, I like Denver Harris a lot. I think
Tack Miner's stepson.
I think they've got a real shot here. Look, Bama has always been viewed as the team to beat. Bama's gotten some kids from North Shore recently. That's where Caleb Chason went, Eric Monroe. But more recently, Bama's gotten some guys from there. Now, granted, this is a team that has 15 D1 kids. So a lot of schools are going to be at the North Shore. But I do think LSU's track record of DBs, them knowing, look, you're on the back end of Stingley's career. A year from now, you'll be on back end of Ricks's. Like, you've got to flip that room. You've got to be ready to say it's going to be Dwight McGlothern and who else, or, you know, whatever it might be. And I think a guy like Denver Harris sees that and is hearing it. He's already made an official visit with his family. He'll probably get in for a game. Everyone has said Bama's a front runner. I'm fine saying that. I like LSU as then the other team that, when you throw in Texas and A&M and all these other schools recruiting him, I think LSU would be that other team that's really in the mix.
Hashtag Ask Shea. Cody Boudreaux wants to know, Shea, is Jordy a little too high on Shaz Preston?
No.
I didn't know where that question was going.
Could have gone a lot of different ways.
No, I think that...
Thank you, Shea.
Right now.
I think Shaz has been the most consistent 2022, what class are we in, 22?
Yeah.
Louisiana receiver across the whole board. I mean, he was winning state championships as a sophomore, so...
This is Aaron Anderson and all those guys in that group.
And I think Aaron Anderson's the other guy you would really debate. Kendrick Law is more of an athlete type. You could probably throw him in a few positions, even on defense. So I hate to put him into that conversation. The thing with Anderson, he's so electric. Right now, Carr has no quarterback play. We've seen that happen. They're starting to just give him jet sweeps, give him little tosses. His touchdowns, the majority of them have come on special teams this year.
The punt return.
I think he could be a guy that even next year, if you feel good about him catching the ball, you're putting him out there because he's electric in the return game. But I think Shaz has the best overall resume of them all, and then you throw in his body type. I mean, Aaron Anderson, too, is a guy that's 5'7", 5'8". He is a slot electric return guy for you. Shaz can be an outside guy. I like. There's a reason that Bama and LSU and Georgia are fighting over Shaz Preston.
Update on Quincy. We were talking about it yesterday. We saw him on social media. He had a LSU hat on. He had a Bama shirt on. He had Florida shorts on, and he had Georgia socks on.
And I don't even know what his top teams are.
He's put Southern in the mix also.
That's right.
Yep. Right. I think probably just status quo there. I don't think he's in much of a rush. I know he's going to play in the All-American Bowl at the end of the year. I don't know if he plans to announce then, but I would think that it becomes a little more clear what he's up to as we get towards November, December. But I think obviously for a Baton Rouge kid that they've had around a lot, you feel good about that. Bama's in it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see him going anywhere beyond those two schools.
Yeah. Jalen Hale is a wide receiver out of Texas who's going to be here this weekend. He's a 2023 kid.
He's a 5-star.
Is LSU still having the impact in Texas with Texas selling the SEC brand now?
We'll see. But I mean, look, right now Harold Perkins is coming in. Jalen Hale's coming in. You just got Nussmeier a year ago. You've got some good guys in the pipeline in terms of guys that are recruiting. Houston will always be an area they can recruit. They have an alumni base there. It's a big city to where they've got enough connects at different high schools they'll always be in on. But I think it'll also come back. Just the more you recruit the state of Louisiana, I think the better this roster ultimately looks. I mean, it's like this. Like Jalen Hale is a 5-star, number 2 receiver, whatever. And if you get him, it's great. It's no different than in this class. That's Evan Stewart, 5-star, number 1 receiver out of Florida, or, has played in, out of Texas. And then you look at a guy like, I think he's in Texas, but he just shut down his year. He's not even going to play the rest of his senior year. But you still would take him. I mean, he's a 5-star. He's a beast. When is the last time LSU's had an out-of-state receiver? Deion Smith?
Right.
Beyond that, I mean, you can go get Besh, Neighbors, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Marshall, Keyshawn Butte, all these guys right here. They all live in this state. So I like that they swing for the fences with a lot of these guys, and in Texas you'll do it with the receivers and whatnot. But if I'm focused on Texas, it's usually at DB, it's usually at linebacker, and then offensive line if they can pop any of those guys.
Hashtag Ask Shea. Daniel Glenn wants to know, is Azera Thomas watching LSU or Florida more this month?
Thomas is a guy, he's been on, I think he just went to the Florida game a couple of weeks ago.
Is this the kid from Neville?
No, Azariah Thomas. He's from Florida. Where does he goes to Niceville, the same school as Kimo Makaniole, the freshman lineman. So he's a corner, and Corey Raymond really likes him a lot. His brothers both go to Georgia Tech, so like you'll see him at Georgia Tech a lot. His mom goes to every game, so he's been making a lot of visits right now. Like Florida, he went by himself because his mom went to the Georgia Tech game to watch her other 2 sons. And he's got Georgia Tech in the mix. He's kind of a funny kid, like where people down there in Florida have said, like, he could go to Georgia Tech. Why? And he's a baller. So I think the goal for LSU, they've already had him on Unofficial, is to get him back. And I think what everybody's circling is LSU Florida's in 2 or 3 weeks, and a lot of their Florida kids will be in for that one.
Andrew Messina asks Shea, other than Will Campbell, Emory Jones, and Bo Bordelon, what other offensive linemen are targets for LSU?
Yeah, they've got Fitzgerald West out of Lafayette Christian, who
signed as a center.
He's ranked as a D lineman, but they worked him out at camp as a center and liked him there. They still have guys out there. Julian Armella in Florida is an offensive tackle who has been on the board for a while. They've been pushing for some other guys. I think that they fill up ultimately there in the transfer portal. I won't be surprised if they took 2 or 3 guys out of the transfer portal on the offensive line. I know for a fact they'll take, at the very minimum, 1. It'll be more than that because I know they've already got their sights set on some guys who could potentially be making a move or whatever it might be. 2 or 3. I mean, you've got a struggling O-line right now, and you're about, with not a ton of depth, and you're about to lose a lot of those starters after this year. So, quick fix. How do you find it? And look, guys like Emory Jones, Will Campbell, you'd love if they come in and they're ready, but you need some vets up in there.
Speaking of Emory, what did you make of the John Emory situation?
I don't know. I guess I'm not surprised. I thought the longer it dragged on, the worse, it was. Yeah. It's not like it came back that fall on Monday like, yeah, look, 3 hours, you're right, take it. I would guess this means he's probably not playing at all this year.
Yeah.
People got real mad when I ever said, I wonder if this is the last time he suits up. Like, could he test the draft? And my God, they were furious.
Why would he not? I'm with you. I agree with you. Why would you take those?
I'm not saying.
Why would you take those hits for free?
I'm just saying that a lot of guys view this as a 3-year plan.
Sure.
If you're a 5-star number 1 running back in the country, you've got it in your head. This is a 3-year thing for me.
Yeah.
Now, granted, doesn't have a ton of film. Now he's been out for a year, but it's not like he was injured.
Test me.
It's not like he was injured.
Test me.
I mean, if you can start running, start getting into shape, and look, he's a guy, and people will say, look, he doesn't have the film. If he goes to the combine, in high school he was jumping 41 inches. That's what Derek Stingley jumps.
No, he's freak.
He is a freak. He runs a faster short shuttle than Derek Stingley does. He can run a 4.5 easily, and he can get sub that. So,
I mean, don't think
and
that...
then they say, oh, wait, you don't have any wear and tear on you?
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly. And your issues were academics? You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're dealing... It's not... You know what?
Off the
Sean
field
McVay,
stuff, really.
Sean McVay, Andy Reid. I mean, some of these elite
and he's a pass
play
rusher.
callers, that's what I'm saying. They look at him and say, no, we'll take him. Well, just spend a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick or an undrafted free agent on him.
That's what a lot of people say. He'll have no shot to get drafted. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Go jump 40 and run a 4.5.
Exactly.
And run a short shuttle like he does, and then catch some nice balls, and I guarantee you.
Joe Brady
you
and
ain't
Carolina be backing up Christian McCaffrey for the next decade.
You ain't getting into the 5th, 6th, 7th round, and they're taking Joe Schmo from Central Connecticut who's got 4,000 rushing yards. But I don't know what he's doing. I'm just saying, don't be surprised.
No, I'm with you.
That's an
but
option.
I mean, if you go back and listen to the first part of the show, I said pretty much the same thing. I don't know why he would come back. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Do you expect Saturday night to be jumping?
I mean, I do. Why people don't?
I think earlier this week, some people, I mean, like there were like tickets available. Some people saying they weren't going. I'm not buying it either. I expect 103,000. I think that it's jam packed. I mean, because I mean, it would be like saying St. Patrick's Day is on Saturday to Baton Rouge. Like people are gonna be like, I'm going. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had a chance to do this in so long. I'm doing it. I mean, you've got a night game at Tiger Stadium on Saturday. You haven't had a chance to do this. Would you say over 700 days?
Yeah, and I would say too that a lot of people have strong opinions on how the team had played, on the restrictions, all this.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a lot of people's bluffs get called this week. Yeah,
right.
Wait,
from fans to administrators.
Which one were y'all were the ones who said, I'm not going to a game?
Screaming from the mountaintops.
Double birds to everything that's LSU right now, and then they're. But hey, look, that's what
this fan base
all
does.
is forgiven. Just show up and yell, and
I wouldn't be.
I won't be surprised if you can spot some open seats in the upper deck, but that's common. That's commonplace. I bet it'll be loud.
Wear your thong, Shea D, and make sure and shoot him at Joey B when he's introduced on Saturday night because it's happening.
It's gonna look like Florida Bama in there with just
absolutely
bras on the ceiling.
just I mean
over the wires, the cameras that come out and zoom down.
Can somebody move those panties out of the way of the play clock? Thank you. Just remnants of Jamar Chase and Joey Burrow.
Pete's is getting plays in slow again. No, there's panties over the camera.
Yeah, got a brawl over the guy's head who's sending the plays in. I think it's Burrow.
Let Burrow call one.
Let him play. All right, Shea, good to see you, brother.
Not still available.
Thank you.
Good to see all y'all.
Absolutely. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Stick around. We're going to talk to Cole Kubelik tomorrow and get his thoughts. Last time Auburn won a game in Tiger Stadium was 1999, and Cole Kubelik was the starting center. We'll ask you about some of those memories and what his thoughts are on the weekend. So many good football games to talk about with Kubelik tomorrow, whether it is Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky, Alabama, Ole Miss, and of course LSU, Auburn, amongst some on the docket this weekend. Have a great Thursday. Stay dry out there. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Go Chevrolet drives us every single day here on the Jordy Culotta Show.